We all live our lives increasingly on the internet, and that's particularly so this past year as we've experienced this pandemic. The internet is where we go for information, it's where we gather. Some of us work on the internet, it's where we shop. Uh, these big tech companies control so much of our lives. They are massive, and many of them are monopolies. Just think how much of your life depends on your access to the internet. Well, we have to make sure that our experiences on the internet are just like they are in the real world, and that the laws that protect us as consumers, the antitrust laws, are enforced on internet big tech companies just as they are on brick and mortar companies that we know and use. Last Wednesday, I joined with 46 Republican and Democratic attorneys general from across the country, as well as the federal government, the Federal Trade Commission, to sue Facebook for abusing its monopoly power in the social networking site space to the detriment of the Facebook users. Today, I am announcing, along with 36 other attorneys general, again, a bipartisan group, a lawsuit against Google for abusing its monopoly powers in the internet search space. Uh, this lawsuit is very similar to the one that was brought last month by the federal government and 10 or 12 other states. And so we will be moving to consolidate our case with the US Department of Justice case, and again, work in bipartisan and federal state cooperation to ensure that the internet works properly and well for all of us. My objective is to ensure that the competition online exists so that North Carolina consumers and users of the internet benefit from better quality services and cheaper products down the road. Google has a monopoly in internet search. Something like 90% of all searches are conducted through Google. It uses its monopoly position in search and the vast resources it has sucked up from the economy to maintain that monopoly. And they've done that by squelching competition. North Carolinians are harmed because there is no meaningful competition in search. We are forced to pay not with dollars, but with our data, not with pennies, but with our privacy. We lose out because competitors who could emerge that would better protect our privacy or may offer advertising that is better and cheaper, they never get a chance to produce meaningful competition. Better advertising at lower prices that other competitors could offer would ultimately put more money in the pockets of North Carolinians. Google engages in a series of anti-competitive acts in order to maintain its monopoly. Like in the US Department of Justice complaint that was joined by the 12 states, as I mentioned last month, we assert that Google engages in exclusive contracts with Apple manufacturers of Android devices, internet browsers, in order to put its search, Google search, as the default search on more than 80% of devices. We also allege that it uses other products like its SA360 product and the way that it uses its algorithm to disadvantage specialized search companies like Yelp or Expedia. They do that in order to benefit and maintain its monopoly. We are seeking relief from the court. We want the court to order Google to cease all anti-competitive illegal acts. We want to void these exclusive contracts through which it maintains its monopoly to the detriment of consumers. And we want the court to potentially divest lines of business from Google if it's necessary in order to ensure that the internet is free and fair and a competitive environment where consumers ultimately benefit. That's what we're doing here today, and I look forward to taking any questions.
Okay, if you have any questions, you can use the raise hand function and we can call on folks. While we're waiting for that, AG Stein, do you want to talk a little bit about what you're asking the court to do?
Yes, we want the court to ensure that the internet is a competitive marketplace, a free market, just like exists in the real world. That's why we have antitrust laws, because the free market system generates the best results for consumers. And we don't have that right now. Google is a monopoly. They dominate the internet search market. And as a result, consumers are losing. I want the people of North Carolina to benefit from healthy competition.
Great.
Laura,
Gary Robertson.
Great.
Hey, Josh, how you doing?
Good, Gary. How are you?
I'm fine. Could you just, maybe you already said this, and I'm sorry if I just went over my head. How is this different from the lawsuit that was filed yesterday by 10 other attorneys general?
The lawsuit that was filed by Texas and 9 other states also is against Google, also is an antitrust violation, but it was focused on a different part of its business. Our concern primarily is about the search advertising, using that search when you go in and type in whatever it is you're looking for, a local plumber, a local restaurant, a cheap flight to go to California or wherever you want to travel. The lawsuit that was filed by Texas and the other states concerned what we call banner ads. When you go to another website, maybe you're going to get information from WRAL, the News and Observer, AP, and you go, and then there'll be an ad on that page. That's called a banner ad. And that was the subject of the Texas lawsuit. Basically, I wish them great success. It was a matter of resources and priority. Clearly, Google is a massive company with incredible amount of resources and power, and abuses that power in various ways, and that's what their lawsuit concerns.
Thank you.
If there are other questions, feel free to use the raise hand function and ask those.
Laura, while we wait to see if anyone else asks a question, I want to just take a word and congratulate my friend, Secretary of North Carolina's Department of Environmental Quality, Michael Regan. He has done a tremendous job for the people of North Carolina as Governor Cooper's Secretary of DEQ these past 4 years. He's tackled issues like cleaning up of coal ash and cleaning up of Gen X, a forever chemical in the Cape Fear River. And he's done this all with grace and skill, savvy, smarts, and he was just, it was announced, is going to be tapped by President-elect Biden to be the administrator of the Environmental Protection Agency in Washington. So he's moving up in the world, but the people of North Carolina, although we will miss his talents here in North Carolina, we will continue to benefit from his leadership as he does a tremendous job on behalf of all of America, including North Carolina.
Okay, well, with that, do you want to sum up kind of the Google story for today, and then we'll wrap it up?
Yeah, the big tech companies have immense power and control over our lives. And it's only become more so during the pandemic when we live increasingly on the internet. We do not allow monopolies to abuse their power in the real world. We cannot allow them to abuse it on the internet. And what we're paying, we're not paying with dollars, we're paying with our data. We're not paying with pennies, we're paying with our privacy. And what I will do is stand up for the people of North Carolina and make sure that the internet is free, fair, and competitive so that we all benefit.
All right, well, thank you all so much for joining us. If you have any follow-up questions, don't hesitate to email me or give me a call, and we'll be glad to help. Thanks so much.
Thanks.